expecting you. It's just my workout. Tuesday's arms and back. Oh yeah, deep burn. I don't know if you ever heard, but I did over 1,000. I may have watched Anchorman today. Anyway, in this video we're building this bad boy. Rolling storage. Over 25 feet of linear wall space and less than a 6-foot footprint. And all of it for less than 500 bucks. But to be fair, I did use a little bit of woodworker math. Now, credit where credit is due. I didn't come up with this idea. I was looking for a storage solution when I started redoing my garage and came across a video by the Hacksman. And he has a solid video. I recommend you check it out. Difference is, his required a lot of welding and a lot of expensive parts. His total came out to like 1,600 bucks. I am a cheap bastard. I don't want to spend 1,600 bucks. So I tried to figure out a way to do it for 500. I'll still put a link to his video down below because that is the inspiration from where I got mine. Anyway, I decided to go with 3/4 inch plywood for the base and most of the construction. It's tough, sturdy, and because I'm doing a 2-sided cabinet for all these hanging cabinets, it'll give me enough meat and potatoes to hold any kind of shelving or anything I put on either side. I'm doing a bit of remodeling in the garage and I'm finally using some proper software. And so this is the plan. Couple posts, some rails holding everything up. Shelves will be double-sided because, in all honesty, I looked at it. None of my tools are wider or take up more than 7-8 inches of space. So instead of having a bunch of 8-inch shelves or a few 12-inch shelves that are too deep to even use, these will be double-sided. Twice as much, same amount of material. Okay, so this is where filming while working kind of screws you over. I had a cut list, but I was moving the camera around to get different angles. I completely forgot that I was only supposed to rip 3 boards, not all 5. And each one of these boards is about 60 bucks, so I think I'm gonna have one small cabinet now, because I screwed that up. Back to the drawing board. Inch out of this effectively. 15 and a 6 of this. Oh, you dumb piece of 1 at 16, 1 at 15. Or I should make it 66, 30.
1 hour later.
Figured it out. I originally had a cut list I was actually going to share with this, but since I screwed that up, had to do a bunch of math and there's no cut list or anything I could share with you. But how it's working is I'm going to have a bunch of 30-inch by 60-inch panels that'll act as a middle panel in the main structure. And I'll have a few panels, side panels, some that are 15 inches, some that are 17, one that's 14. It's the only way I could really make up all the storage spacing without losing anything. And I'll just have to really organize and figure out and structure what I can place where. One shelf unit will be for paints, while one, which is smaller, will be for smaller hand tools and the like. So while it's less pretty than having a bunch of uniform shelves, I'm going to have the same amount of storage space. I just have to be very meticulous about which pieces I put to which. Because I'm an idiot and screwed up my cut list. The assembly for this is mind-numbingly simple. I just line everything up, glue it, and screw it. You may be wondering why I'm not using pocket holes for this. It would be better. It's because I'm still waiting on my pocket hole jig. I had 2 delivery problems and I have to get this done, so back to work. A part of me wanted to wait until I actually got the pocket hole jig to do all this, but I'm a working man. Almost everything I put up I only work on between the hours of 6 and like 8 or 9 p.m. Only a couple hours each day after work. And having to wait multiple days for a jig to come in, just didn't want to do it. Let's be honest, I don't want to wait. I'm impatient. Face screwing, nailing, glue and screw, pocket holes. As long as it passes the FMT, that's all that matters to me. Should make that a t-shirt. When I was doing this stage, I thought a lot about whether or not I wanted to keep it looking like natural wood or if I was going to paint it. In the end, I decided to paint it because I might give everything a nicer finished look. And also, I really love the color purple. Spoiler alert, I'm going to be painting it purple. You probably saw it already. In my family, each one of us have colors, and mine are actually purple and black, hence the color scheme for everything. But it is a decision. Do I keep things looking nice and wood, or do I paint it and make it look fake or bought or just plastic or whatever have you? In the end, I'm glad I painted it. It just looks so much nicer painted. It looks more finished. And I don't have to worry about the glue drips or screws that don't match the wood, so it's a win-win. Oh, look at that color. I'm not saying there's a correct or incorrect order of operations, but since I built the shelving units first, the posts and the railing for it I could build afterwards. All the lumber I got from this is from Home Depot. I mean, big box store. And for the posts, I decided to use 2x4s that I would laminate together instead of a 4x4 post. It's about a third the cost, and honestly, if I take two 2x4s, even if they're slightly warped, I could put two that are warped in opposite directions together, and it cancels out. As opposed to the 4x4 posts, which all have their own innate warpage and crowning. It's actually kind of amusing to me because I don't really make plans for things. I'll usually just go and make stuff up on the fly, but I actually made plans for this, and I've changed them like 3 times since I started. If you'll notice in the original diagram, I have metal railing, but I'm using 2x12 instead because it's way more cost effective. Not to dive deep into it, but it would have cost me an additional $400 if I used any type of metal or engineered casters or runners or whatever the proper vernacular is. And if you haven't been able to put it together, I am a very cheap cookie. Alright, so I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this by myself. Could hang up basically a 10-foot by 3-foot frame suspended in the air by myself. Or put it on posts. So what I'm thinking is I might get these ends attached to the posts, and then I'll have that end sitting on the ladder. Nothing can go wrong there. Or maybe I'll just drill it into this 2x4 temporarily. Alright, I'm gonna leave the camera running so whenever I fall and break a leg, you guys can see it. It'll be hilarious. Great content. And I'm gonna scratch my balls and try and figure this out. There's a light there. I need a better plan. Oh. I think I need a better plan. We'll be right back. Well, that was a fun accident. Now I'm just have a temporary brace up with the wood I have, going over 3 joists, and then that's going to be going into it, and it's going to lift up and just sit here. I already have them attached to the posts. Did I accidentally put them on the wrong sides? Yes. Is it going to make it a little more complicated for me to put up? Yes. Am I an idiot? Yes. So once again, I'm going to put this camera far away, record everything, and let's see if I just crap the bird again. Doo doo boop a doo boop. Bang. Boop boop boop. Shee boop a doo boop a doo boop a doo boop boop a shoo boop. Shibba doo a boop a shoo boop a doobie. Shibba doo boop a boop shoop a doop. Shibba doo boop a doop doobie. Boop shoo boop. Boop shoo boop boop shoo doo boop shoo boop. This is already 17 times easier. I take that back. You'll notice the way that I'm actually putting it up. I only have posts on a single side. Deviation number 16 from the original plans I drew. Why did I even draw plans? Like, seriously. As I was mapping this out, I realized that if I had posts on the side closest to the camera right now, there would be no walkway there. You wouldn't be able to walk around. There's a post. I wouldn't be able to use that wall for storage. There's a post. So I decided to actually just hang them from the ceiling instead of having them be supported from below. And since all the weight is going to be on the far side where the posts are whenever I have all these things closed, just save space. I spent a lot of time thinking about how I'm going to put brackets up here that could hold wheels that will prevent it from racking. And I was inspired on this little documentary on trains I kind of watched, where they actually angle the wheels to sit on top of the railroad, so that way whenever it turns, it's self-centering. Now I realize this isn't a train, and I'm not actually angling the wheels, I'm angling the railroad, quote unquote. But it's the same principle. Like, it should work, right? I spent about 30 minutes trying to build a jig to make a uniform hole where I could insert the wheels, but I mean, I had a plastic square. Just drill a hole inside it. Like, why overcomplicate things? I'm cheap. I'm lazy. It was great. Speaking of cheap, I got a pretty good deal on these wheels. I think it cost me like $4 per wheel, which is a pretty good deal for these. These things are used as replacement wheels for cargo hand carts and trucks. Each one's rated for about 250 pounds. They have ball bearings in them that allow for a smooth ride, quote unquote smooth. And did I mention they were cheap? Anyway, let's see how it works. Test number 1. Yep. It's getting a little wider. So I think I need to double up on the spacing. I'll show you what's going on. So mathematically, it works, but there's just not enough. So I think I need to double up on this. Let's see if it does the trick. There's a little bit of binding, but a little bit of paste wax on the, it's not good lighting for me. Nope. 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 Oh, there we go. Hello there. A little bit of binding. But I think just throwing some paste wax on the shelf here will help prevent that. Here you can see what I decided to do instead of posts. Just kind of beef it up with some 2x6s attached to some double-plated 2x4s that are lagged into the trusses. Man, black and purple, like, you cannot beat that color combo. After rolling these back and forth a little bit, I think I don't have a steep enough angle. And so whenever I roll them, they start binding. And that little angle, it'll either climb up or climb down. I think I'm going to set a new level line, snap a line, cut it with the skill saw. That's the fastest way without spending money or potentially damaging anything by trying to remove the railing. And hopefully a 45-degree angle will make it more like a railroad track and centered, and it won't climb, it won't rack and climb up. I'm just gonna send it. Yeah, what can go wrong? Time to cut. Ow. Third time's the charm. Oh, heck yeah. That is infinitely better. It worked. Oh. Been binding so far. I think that's a success. I thought about calling it there for a video, but I realized I haven't put up any shelves, there's no handles or anything. So this is where a lot of the woodworker math comes in. I'm using a lot of the scrap material I have to build all the shelving for this. And I'm not doing anything too unique with shelving, I'm just building very simple shelves. Wooden brackets with wooden shelves on top. And yes, I'm going to paint them black. Everything's painted. I am running out of room. For this front section, because it's so shallow, I just decided to put up some French cleats, a simple shelf, and make an extension of the wall. Put up the tools I use all the time. Clamps, guns, tape, just extend it. As I said before, this is very simple shelving. Just throwing up some brackets along the 3/4 inch plywood, and then it's putting down a piece of plywood on top. And I'm not gonna spend too much time here. In fact, I think we spent enough time over here. These oversized handle tools, or whatever you want to call them, were kind of an afterthought. I just used what I had lying around. I really should have used 2x material instead of 3/4 inch ply that I screwed and glued together, but it works. It is what it is. Woodworker math at its finest. And one thing I really like about this is that not only do I have the extra storage of these units themselves, but the wall behind it I can store stuff. So I still retain the entire footprint worth of wall space. And as you can see here, no posts. I can walk on by. I could take things down like I need to use them. It doesn't get in the way of me walking through. And I could do kung fu if I wanted to. Pretend like I know what I'm doing. But the important question remains. Does it pass the FMT? Oh. Yeah, I'd say that passes the FMT. Anyway, thanks for watching. And if you... I'm not really good at these outros. Like, subscribe, send me a DM, send me a funny joke. I'm gonna go have dinner now. Night.